Terror, lat. Terror, fear, horror, intimidation of political opponents by means of physical violence. Terror also refers to threats of physical violence for political or any other reasons, or intimidation with the threat of violence or murder. You know, I have always been against the death penalty. No, not because I am so worried about some scum and ghouls, or God forbid that I will suffer remorse for the rest of my days. And first of all, because I am fully convinced that such a harsh punishment can be applied only if there is an exceptionally competent and highly fair judicial system, which has incredibly developed legal traditions and a developed institute of jury trials. But for some reason I am glad that Belarus still has it. Do you know why? Because in the near future this punishment will be in great demand, when the regime collapses. In this unhappy and tortured country, Lukashenko, who is turning Belarus into a real concentration camp. Right now in front of our eyes, activists, bloggers, administrators of Telegram channels are detained in the country, openly mock political prisoners, forcing the latter to open their veins because of the unbearable, anti-human conditions of detention. Yesterday, late in the evening, a video of Olga Sevyeronets, the wife of a well-known politician, was sent to me on Facebook, who turned not so much to society as to the security forces and the judiciary, and in my opinion this is no longer an appeal, but a real cry from the heart. I am the wife of Pavel Sevyeronets, who for 18 days has not been kept in inhuman conditions in a punishment cell on Akrestine Street. I appeal to the police officers, courts, isolation wards and the ministry. I still believe that you have honest people. I see how you lower your eyes at illegal courts. I see how your hands are shaking when they bring you a complaint. I see wedding rings on your fingers, which means a family is waiting for you at home, and I am sure that you wanted to be an exile for your wives and children. I mean, wherever you work, there is always a way to remain human. You can bring a bottle of water to the prisoner in the punishment cell. You cannot drive your family out of the courtroom. You can send a fabricated case for revision. You can remain silent, turn away, get sick. You are part of a terrible system, and also, thanks to you, it works. The authorities create lawlessness with your hands, packing people in punishment cells, imprisoning innocent people for a day, grabbing people on the street, and writing out a fine for nothing. And all this is done with your hands. Tell me, do you need it? Do your families need this? Do your children need this? An unworthy act cannot be justified by an order. And perjury, lying, beating are terrible acts unworthy of either real men or women. You know very well that the people who are taking to the streets now are not swindlers or bandits. We are honest, intelligent, educated people who have been denied the right to choose. And we don't want to be afraid. We do not want to be afraid that children may be taken away from us only for our opinion. We do not want to wait for our husbands for months from 24 hours and in prisons. We really want to spend our energy on something else. And we ask you, do not be afraid, you still have a chance to remain human. Just stand in line with us. Rest assured that people will not leave you. And do not think that nothing depends on you. Now is the time. When everything depends on each Belarusian. I don't know about you, but when I heard it, tears came to me. And not because I am so sentimental or impressionable, but primarily because I know how scary and terrible it is to be alone with this soulless, vile and anti-human state machine, which was created by Lukashenko and the KGB controlled by him, which has no conscience, no honor, no elementary moral concepts. In this situation, I demand from the police officers that we better, as they say, not squeeze, than squeeze. So that they do not get to Us not even detained, but the provision of people who did not want to participate in the internal affairs bodies. And therefore, repeated warnings. Keep your hands behind your back. I say to the riot police officer. If they oust someone, it is better to them substitute themselves, but God forbid they do not beat anyone, do not use physical force, and even more so they do not get special means. People like Olga and Paul have always instilled faith and love and hope. Belief in our future, love for my own people, and hope that Belarus will finally change in the near future. Because we have no and cannot have any other way out but to defeat all this evil and all that insanity. That is with us Ingon. I jokingly said, I drove off, so you have already dirtied the water in Minsk. When I leave somewhere I hide the matches so that you don't set fire to the country. I don't know by chance or not, probably this is some kind of divine conduct, but after watching Olga's appeal, I came across this one here, which caused me not only surprise, but a real vomit reflex. Guys, I am addressing the video to those who imagine themselves to be great revolutionaries, who supposedly are able to change this world, to save Belarus from someone. Suddenly, from the kitchen, from spoons, from forks, from cups they decided to buzz. Stand there, clap, make up, rain. It really is rain, a temporary phenomenon. You understand. You are provoking the internal troops, you are provoking. I am a person who is associated with the army. I know what an order is. You are now uploading a video of what is being detained and beaten by the Oman. Beats up, offends. First, nobody is beaten. The guys pack very carefully. This is even a very gentle detention, I know exactly what it is. Rough detention is another matter entirely. You scream like children that you are being taken away. So don't provoke. The internal troops have order. There is an order that there should be no rallies or disputes on the streets, because this can lead to irreversible consequences. The crowd is uncontrollable. We never have a mess, we have a wonderful system. Security system in our country. And I fully support her for the reason that if she is not there, there will be chaos. And I am 1000% convinced that if God forbid some of you manage to get through there, you will be 10 times worse than Stalin. I mean in terms of repression. You will start such a terror, Ukraine will seem like just a ballerina with point shoes. You will never be allowed there. Because everyone understands what you will do. And to keep the power all methods are OD. But if the government really gives us what we see, normal gas stations, tolerably normal roads. Everyone has a piece of bread, rejoice in the little. I am satisfied with my life, I ride an old fawn, but I earned it myself. I live in an old house, but I made money on it myself. He spent the water himself. Is everything not enough for you? Then when you choose, you think, will the new candidate take away from you everything that you have earned? Then you will cry, but it will be too late. Stupid. Comrades, stupid, true handsome. And you know what surprises me the most about these? Does he really think that his attempts and desire to lick his ass will be appreciated by someone upstairs? Idiot. They don't give a damn about you. Such as you are for them ordinary cannon fodder. Cattle, the price of which is from $500 to $1,000 per month, and then only on the condition that you serve as a dog and never leave the confines of that kennel and booth in which you were settled in all your nasty life. And in confirmation of my words, in conclusion, I want to read you a tear that my friend and subscriber Alexander sent me the other day in Contact, whose last name, for obvious reasons, I will not name here. Sasha writes, I hope it will come in handy. I am 49 years old. I was born in Minsk, spent most of my adu life abroad. 3 years I came on a fishing trip to the village where I spent my childhood, and really drunk from the devastation and desolation that were in the place of the once lively place. I bought land, formalized a farm and am trying to revive village life. So, looking at Lukashenko's fighters, I can say this is 100% his product and they all have the same fate. Almost all of the riot police come from the countryside. After school they do the army, and upon their return they have only two options. Either to the local collective farm for 350 rubles a month. Yes, this is the salary in the village. Or to a construction site. In Russia. So they to the cop, and an office apartment and a stable salary, plus all sorts of years and cookies. Therefore, these guys are fierce in the city due to the fact that at home they only have a prospect of 350 rubles. Now here in the village all the men are leaving to work. There is no one to work in the field. Only women remain, as after the war. But the periphery is all against Lukashenko without exception. They came from the village council to collect signatures for him, so they drove them out of the courtyards with curses and almost with sticks. The evil people have nowhere to. They will not to mince to Maidan, but if the locals spill blood from the repressions here, then the entire presidential vertical will be lifted up. Such are the things. For 26 years, our population has decreased by 850,000 people. Just imagine. Lukashenko was still in charge, minus 850,000 people. Prices rise, earnings fall. People leave in the millions to work in Russia or the European Union. People cannot get the truth here. Even under the communists, they say, there was no such thing that there was no place to find the truth. People are simply sent from the courts or fired from their jobs. Contracts are being stifled, pensions are being taken away. Everywhere you look, there is a continuous wound. I am a person who wants my children to live in a country for life, in a normal country, where you can calmly express your views and not receive a day or fines for it. In a country where you can open your own business and no one will put a spoke in your wheels, take your money. In a country where you won't be kicked just for wanting to be human.